Hello everyone and welcome to Operation Infinite Ocean. I'm your host King CK and welcome to today's episode. Today's episode is the first starter episode of our new series, the Endless Ocean series, which is our new server which will be releasing later sometime next month. For now, I'm going to go ahead and be showing you guys around and kind of giving you guys an update on what's going on. Hopefully I plan on doing these vlogs at least every once or twice a week, hopefully depending on the amount of content that is available. My goal hopefully is going to be to recreate some of the original OIO feel that originally kind of started the Operation Infinite Ocean franchise. So let's go ahead and get started. For starters here, we have the Yacht Club in which Chris built actually quite a while ago. For a little quick brief history lesson, which I kind of touched base on in some previous episodes, we unfortunately lost our server files due to an incident about 3 months ago. Well, at that point we had decided to abandon the project. The project had been recently scrapped until recently. We've gone ahead and started it back up, and we've gone ahead and slowly started into building some new buildings. So over there is the Yacht Club. Back here is the hotel that you guys may or may not have seen back in the ski resort episodes, which is now fully complete on the outside, and I've gone ahead and started on the interior. I'll go ahead and give you guys a quick brief taste. Right here is the hotel concierge desk. We're going to have some check-in areas back there, or an information/guest services table there. And this is supposed to be kind of reminiscent of that Grand Budapest style hotel concierge. And we'll go ahead and head back this way here. Over to where is currently a beach marina area, which I'm currently in talks with Chris right now. Me and him are kind of working some projects out. He has his own little plan on how he wants this region to look versus how I had generally in my idea. And up until this point, nothing had been done over here, so I kind of started myself. So the end goal is hopefully I am going to put the hotel near a beach, maybe give it a new coat of paint for more of a tropical theme instead of the ski resort theme that it was originally designed for. Over here, and once again, if you guys follow our history, or at least follow Chris, this is one of our more original projects, and by one of ours, it's mostly just, it is Chris's project. It's his airplane museum, which we've gone ahead and thrown the planes out on the lawn, put them up for sale. And we'll go ahead and head in here. Right now it's fairly empty, and Chris wants to go ahead and change this up. I really do like the interior though, and that's the reason I am showing it here in the video. I want to do something similar for the museum, is to have this kind of flooded look to it. It's definitely a really cool concept, I thought, or the really cool design to kind of have this water reflecting all the light and whatnot in here. And another little fun thing, and let me see if it's actually still set up. Yep, looks like it is. If you may or may not know, Endless Ocean is our moving boat server. A while back I did do an announcement video almost a year ago to this day that we were going to launch a movement server sometime last year. Unfortunately, due to time constraints, work constraints, we really just did not have the manpower, the resources, and at that time I did not have enough energy to devote towards it, in my life to devote towards the server. Well, hopefully now I'm back at the wheel, so we're no longer dividing up the work. I'll be hopefully seeing a lot of this hands-on once again to see progress happening again. Unfortunately, it's a very big task to take on, one person at a time. I mean, I am getting a little bit of help here and there. Chris is actually coming back. Started to go ahead and design out a few things. Alex over at Island Craft has gone ahead and helped out with a little bit of stuff as well. Also, Diamond Block, as you may know, who has done previous work on some other servers, who's currently active on Island Craft as well. They've been helping out here and there. We've had Johnny Blue also help on a few buildings. So we'll go ahead and head this way to the last part of the tour for today. Down this way, Chris has gone ahead and built a giant lift bridge. Originally Dio had done one which had actually moved, and I know there are talks of making another one that will move again as well. It was definitely really cool to move with the Zobs mod, or not the Zob, it's been quite a while, since the Archimedes mod had been implemented, so he had found a way to get it to move fairly well, and it was kind of a cool design. So we'll go ahead and head this way here into the last part that I was working on last night until probably about 4 in the morning, pretty well into the night to try to get this started at least. So over here is a town which was part of the previous Endless Ocean server that got wiped out. We managed to recover quite a bit of the old buildings. This section here was built by Johnny Blue, touched up by Awesome Guy 376, and then this town corner here was built by Rajan, or Diamond Block as you may know him. So he went ahead and built that region, and then a little cafe as well. I'm hoping to put a bunch of buildings all along this strip, make some more down that way. In here we're going to kind of do do a bit of like a dry docking marina type thing, maybe put some sailing ships for show in there, something like that. Right now this is just kind of more for show in that area, and then on the other side here, which is still, there's nothing over here just yet. Hopefully this is something I want to start to work on within the next few weeks. We'll be going ahead and putting in like a little harbor over here for either ferry terminal use or something of that nature. I know Chris was looking at doing a ferry service on that side, so for now I might just put some houses and whatnot on over here. So you're probably asking yourself, what makes this different than the original project? Why should we care? I'm probably just going to lose interest in a month. So I mean, your questions aren't wrong, and definitely be skeptical. I'm not making any big promises here. Hopefully the end goal of this server is we want to keep the project very, very small. We're going to try to keep it limited to, I think we've estimated about 3 harbors that we're looking at possibly doing, and then having them all within sailing distance of each other. Because as you may have seen earlier in the video, we do have the ship's movement mod installed. We're still working on which ships we like best for it. We'll be keeping them all really small. So there's going to be no large cruise ships, no large projects, no huge airports, nothing like that. Definitely no giant ski resorts. We're going to keep it nice and simple. We want to make it clean, elegant, very well high quality for just a small set of areas. And what we're going to do is then once we open it up for the public, you guys are going to be able to come on, sail around on some ships, check everything out yourself. I know me and Chris were looking at some mini games for you guys to play. We were looking at stuff like frisbee golf. We got a cool ball plug-in working, which let me see if it works right now. Where you can kick a little soccer ball around that Seth Bling had made that we had found on his site. So we went ahead and we're looking at maybe doing like a soccer game for you guys to play, stuff like that. So the goal is we're going to have a bunch of really cool mini gamey type things for you guys to do while you're on the server. So it's going to be a little bit more to do than just aimlessly wander around. The other goal too is we don't want to overwhelm you with content like we've done in previous builds, because the problem we've noticed with that is either one of two things will happen. You get desensitized by how much stuff it is. It just gets overwhelming. You can't see it all you want, and you get lost, you get confused. That's the goal with this. I want to keep it very, very clean, very small, very well laid out for everyone to kind of have a general idea. And that's the nice 3 harbor system. I want to do some maps everywhere so you guys can kind of have a general idea. But yeah, for the most part, that's kind of the end goal. I know right now we've been talking about some other mini game types. We've been thinking about golf. I've been thinking about maybe doing like a kart racing type thing. I know we're not trying to be an amusement park. I get that we're not. I know we've had influences from the past from other servers that do very much attraction-y type things. But with us, we want to try to keep it nice and small, I guess, so to speak, and not do this big over-the-top thing. Once again, same mentality as always, high quality, very nicely done, limited builders. So unfortunately right now we are not accepting builders. If you do have some suggestions, we'd be more than happy to hear it. If you do honestly think that you are up for the task of building, right now we just went ahead and revamped the website, which I will go ahead and pull up here for you guys. And so so now we have the new OIO website, which you guys can all check out as well if you'd like. It's at herogaming.net. Brand new website. I'm still working on some stuff on it. That's why these are all left blank. I was revamping an old template that I had been working with in previous amounts. Half other person's code, half mine. But if you guys would like, go ahead and check out our forms. Hopefully by the time I have this video up, I want to have the forms a little bit cleaned up. Right now they're still pretty dirty. They're still new. But if you'd like, you can go ahead and post some stuff, post your own builds, share with us, get to know the crew. I know I'll be active on the forums. I don't know if anyone else will. We also have the die map up as well. It's still rendering in, of course, of the new maps are in. So it will, over time it'll render up here, and you guys will be able to watch the progress live. As of right now, the server is still to remain relatively whitelisted for now. We're going to try to keep it on a low key. I mean, the server IP is always still the same, and the main old server, the big showcase server, as of right now has been ahead and closed down until further notice. We have some other plans that we are thinking about with that one. I've been looking at possibly changing it into maybe like a World War II server, possibly doing like a Townie Factions type thing. Just something new, a nice change of pace over there, or maybe we might just end up leaving that as the original build server. Right now at this moment we actually have 3 servers available to us that we'll be working through. Right now I'm just using one as a personal survival server, so I might bump that over to being the building server for us. Because the goal with this map is once it's finished, it's not going to be added on until like we're going to do it update patch style. So it's not going to be continuously being worked on. It's going to be done, and then every like day and a half it's going to reset back to the default style of it. You guys get to drive more boats, crash the boats, get them mixed up everywhere, bam, reset, so on and so forth. Therefore it kind of makes it not as cluttered for you guys and whatnot. If you guys do have any questions, feel free to post them in the comment below. I'll try my best to get back to you guys if you do have any comments, concerns, or questions. Once again, we're not taking building requests right now. However, if you do have a building request, I'd appreciate it if you guys put it over on the forums and not in the channel comments, because I'm more likely to see it over on the forums. So other than that, guys, I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.